We're live. We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience as we dealt with some technical difficulties.
This is Mars Murder
What's that
Mystery.
noise? Oh, sorry. We're still dealing with technical difficulties. Hey, this is Run It Back Philly. You know the drill. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. This is Greg Melly, aka Sixers Greg. This is Romp, a.k.a. Sixers Talk with Romp, a.k.a. the GOAT of Sixers film breakdown. Romp,
Oh, wow.
congratulations on
Thank you.
conquering the Sixers film breakdown world lately. I enjoy watching them.
I remember when he was just Romp. Now he's just like, I mean, it's crazy. Just watching you become the man you've become, Romp. I'm so proud of you, dude.
We are proud.
Thank you.
We're like proud
You're
parents.
like a dad to me, Greg.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
What's up to everybody in the chat, man? Hit the like button. You know the drill. Be active in the chat. Throw some questions at us. Throw topics at us. Things like that. So let's jump right into it, man. We're back in business. The boys are back in town. The Sixers season is almost upon us. Preseason last night. The Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers in Brooklyn. I couldn't have asked for anything better. On my birthday, by the way. Yesterday was my birthday, and one of the just players that I've despised for, it feels like a large majority of my adulthood now, didn't come back, but had to play against the Philadelphia 76ers on my birthday. He put on a jersey. He played basketball. So, you know, that throws out some of the things people were saying, and I was saying I can't even picture this guy playing basketball anymore. That's where we're going to start, by the way. For those that are sick of hearing it, for people that keep hitting me up in the comments, why are you still talking about Ben Simmons? Because we played last night, bro. Like, they didn't think I was going to talk about it. It makes no sense at all. That's where we're going to start. The dude put a jersey on. He played against the Sixers last night in Brooklyn. And to me, he looks like the exact same player that I've always known him to be. And I don't think, this might sound extreme, but I don't think he adds any value to the Brooklyn Nets. I really don't. From what I saw last night. I might be overreacting to a preseason game, but just watching, I don't think he adds much value to the Brooklyn Nets. I think he's still a 6'11", cross half court, handed off, stand in the corner guy, and gets a couple wide open dunks. So basically what I'm saying is, does Ben Simmons playing basketball again, should it make us care more about the Brooklyn Nets as far as a threat in the Eastern Conference? Who wants to start?
Greg can.
Theoretically, it should make the Nets better. Like the only knock I have against Ben Simmons is that everyone is kind of expecting him to be like a Draymond Green type of role in Brooklyn, but he has never shown any signs of being able to be that guy. He just isn't like a dog. Like, this is all stuff we already know. So, like, what's the point of us trying to break down what makes Ben Simmons Ben Simmons? Like, it's everything we've seen over the past couple of seasons. And it's like, he doesn't have the ability in his mental to be Draymond for this team. And at the same time, it's like, theoretically, I think it would make them better just because it's a versatile defender that is something they haven't had, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Like, I think him catching rebounds and running transition is going to make Brooklyn very hard to beat. And Joe Harris out in the wing, Patty Mills out in the wing, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, they're all good shooters. They're all someone that I would surround Ben Simmons with. But, like, as long as they start Ben Simmons and Nick Claxton together, I just don't see that lineup ever working. Ben Simmons is a great defender. I think I didn't watch the game. I watched highlights. But from what I saw, Tyrese Maxey seemed to beat him multiple times. And I just, that warmed my heart. I think Ben Simmons is the best defender that they've had out there for a while. So theoretically, I think it would make them a better team. I think Brooklyn's going to be fine. I don't think they're a championship team just because it's like dude, it was like turmoil 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden that the guys are back, it's like we're supposed to pretend that this team can gel together and win a championship. I don't agree with that at all. They've had a very wild offseason, and that's not something I think you look for in a championship team. But I don't see Ben Simmons playing into a specific role that they need him to play. So I don't really see him doing anything.
Didn't they say he was going to play center?
Yeah. But
which is interesting because they have Markieff Morris too. Like they have so many small ball fives. Like at what point are they trying to like what are they going to have for Embiid when Embiid is just going to dominate? Like I don't understand that.
Embiid's going to dunk on Claxton and Ben together.
Yeah, like Claxton weighs 185 pounds and he's like their truest center. Like what are we doing? Like you're in the Eastern Conference. Like you're going to have some big body to stop Embiid. You're in the same goddamn division for Pete's sake. Like, what are we doing? And Ben Simmons at the 5 is a terrible idea.
Let him do it.
He can't guard 5s. He can't guard in the paint. He has never averaged over a block per season. Like, what?
What are we doing?
Well, speaking of Tyrese Maxey, he's supposed to be a very smart defender, and he was going in that first quarter. He was going under screens on a guy that shot 42.5% from 3 last season, and Tyrese was like, dude, 20 seconds into the game, oh, this is easy. This guy's supposed to be a smart defender. He's hanging out under the screen. See you later. He scored 8 points in 3 seconds, it felt like. Anyway.
Yeah, to answer DJ's question, he's still the same player. I'm not afraid of the Nets whatsoever because the thing is, he had George Niang on him. He had George Niang guarding him, and he was looking to pass the ball. Are you kidding me, George Niang? And I was thinking to myself today, if I had to choose between a one-on-one, just a one-on-one game, I put $50 on a player and it's between Furkan Korkmaz versus Ben Simmons, I'm picking Furkan. I'm going to be real because Ben has no offensive ability whatsoever. I legitimately think DJ Eastwood could lock Ben Simmons up because he has no touch around the rim. He has no touch in his jump shot. You can just make him shoot fadeaways. He's eventually going to miss.
That fadeaway looked real nice, though, Rom. How nice did that free throw fadeaway look?
It did look nice.
That offseason workout, dude. That offseason workout's like, let's go.
I felt bad.
I'm not afraid of the Nets.
I was surprised he shot it. So, he pump faked the first possession, and I was like standing behind my couch. I couldn't even sit. I was so excited for this. It was unreal. And he gets the ball and he pump fakes, and I just couldn't. I should have believed it, but I was like, oh my God, this guy actually came out here and did exactly what he's done for 5 years. And then I was surprised that he shot that, actually. He was like, all right, I'm going to prove to everyone that I'm going to shoot. And he just shanks it off the right side of the backboard. It was horrendous. I mean, dude, oh my God, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I don't know. I don't. So, Rob, you think the Nets are better with Ben Simmons? And I hate Ben Simmons, but I'm not going to go, I'm not going to pick Furkan Korkmaz to win one-on-one.
He would beat him. I'm telling you. In a one-on-one, he would beat him. He's got more ball handling skills. All you got to do is make Ben shoot. He doesn't want to drive. He wasn't driving on George Niang.
Dude, 30 seconds in, Rob says something absolutely insane.
I know. And of course, it's about Furkan. He can't help himself. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, chat, to the brand new season and the same old crew.
I got more hot takes.
I believe it. I just can't wait until Cam Reddish is a Sixer by the offseason.
He got hurt already.
So
Dude,
wait,
doesn't matter.
Let's look at. So speaking of George Niang guarding Ben Simmons, maybe George Niang suddenly improved and became an all-worldly NBA defender, and we just don't know it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Also, Ben Simmons going over 2 from the free throw line, it's just wonderful. It's just so nice to know that it's never going to change.
None of
this is ever going to change. He will always be what he is right now. We were right. Everyone else gave us shit because we were the only ones that were like, yo, the dude is a plus. Now, you know what? Turns out
people are saying ESPN was hyping him up today. I didn't watch any ESPN today. Thank the Lord I didn't do that. But, did you guys see anything on ESPN? I mean, how do you hype up 6 points?
The Nets broadcast was hyping him up. I mean,
I saw your tweet, Rump. You were not happy with that.
I was literally uncomfortable watching the game with how they were talking about Ben Simmons. Like there was some sexual tension from the broadcast crew when they were talking about Ben Simmons. It was ridiculous. Well, Tyrese Maxey has 20 points, and we're here talking about Ben Simmons making a dunk on a fast break. Are you kidding me?
In a preseason game when Maxey not that Maxey would have. He might be able to block Ben Simmons. I don't know, but he did. It's a preseason game. He walked away. He didn't try to defend it. It was a wide open dunk. I hope you can do that.
Let's talk about how Maxey could have had like 45 if he wanted to. That was insane, dude.
Exactly.
And who was guarding him? Premier all-world defender Ben Simmons.
Exactly. I think that's like another point that I wrote down. Like, I made a video that said the Sixers have a big three, and I feel like Tyrese Maxey should be not a sidekick. I feel like Tyrese Maxey should be a main option on this team, and I think I would hope that it's Doc Rivers. So take this with a grain of salt, but I would hope that Doc Rivers plans on staggering them and being able to use Tyrese Maxey as a main feature on the floor when he's out there without James.
I think he will.
Yeah, a lot of people, are replying to me with that, saying like, he's not ready yet, and we overrate Tyrese Maxey, things like that. But I think the only thing left for him to add to his game, based on last season, is the confidence and that like I'm the man attitude. I'm a feature player. I'm not running around looking who can I get the ball to. I did hear Doc in that televised practice, though. He did say to James, the only guys I want to go get it are you and Joel. And I was like, kind of want Tyrese to be that guy too. So what do you guys think, man? What is your prediction for Doc Rivers and the handling of Tyrese Maxey this season? Because I think Tyrese himself right now is like, I'm unstoppable. And the way he came out in that the first 10 seconds of that preseason game was like, I'm here. I can shoot deep threes. I can shoot the mid-range. I can get to the rim and finish. I can do everything. He's unbelievable. He's looking like a complete player. But, yeah, what do you guys think?
I think he's going to take another step. And I think Doc Rivers is going to allow him to. I would be very surprised to see Tyrese not progress in the points per game category. Like, I'm not expecting him to hit the same type of percentage clip from three, but I think he's going to shoot more. I think he's going to be more aggressive. He looked stronger. He looked like he put on some weight, some muscle, which was huge. That's a really big thing for young guys entering the league and doing, 1, 2, 3 seasons in a league. That's a big thing to look for. And I think Tyrese is definitely going to make a move, especially after I read a quote from Doc Rivers today saying that he wants James Harden to be a Magic Johnson-esque player, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know if I like that, but I hate Doc Rivers. Holy shit. But I think Tyrese is going to be forced to take another step, because I also think that Tobias is starting to realize that, you know what, dude, I'm the 4th best player on this team.
The Tobias ISOs were killing me yesterday, but
we didn't have the other dudes.
Yeah.
That was to be expected.
I'll let it slide, but I think mid-season we might be having a real discussion about Tyrese Maxey may be our best option scoring-wise in the half-court situation.
That's tough, though, because that was like the big knock on Tyrese last year was the fact that he's not a half-court guy. He's more of like a, blow-by burst type of dude. And with James Harden, it works in the half-court, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's like, if Tyrese can become a half-court threat, he's going to be an all-star 100%. I'll put all my money on it, because that's the one thing that he just hasn't been able to do yet in his career.
I'm going to put money on it. This season.
Is that 3 all-stars then? Are the Sixers going to have 3 all-stars?
I guess maybe he won't be an all-star just because of the other players that would be there. It's hard to get 3 all-stars. It's hard to get the votes for 3 all-stars. But all-star level player, definitely.
If the Sixers want to be the championship team that we want, Tyrese Maxey has to be on the level of Harden and close to the level of Joel Embiid in terms of how he's used in the offense by the playoffs. Like, teams have to game plan for Tyrese Maxey because they know he's going to be used like a star player. But if Maxey's just a background guy to Harden and Embiid, this team has a floor, because an Embiid run offense, we've seen where that's gotten us second round exits. And that's not a knock on Joel Embiid. We're just saying our team needs another guy who can take it off the dribble and take pressure off of Embiid. So they got to, react to Tyrese more, because he puts so much pressure on the defense with the way he gets downhill. And then Joel could just focus on defense. All he's got to do is focus on defense. And then when he has to take over, he takes over. But I'm telling you, we need Tyrese to be on the level of Harden and Embiid in terms of usage in the offense come playoff time.
Well, Rob, you broke down the Sixers practice and you heard the things that Doc was saying, and he was still basically, he was telling James, you know what I mean? Like, number one is getting the ball to Joel Embiid, and then, we can't be standing around. We got to try to be active and have things moving around him. But it's going to be Joel Embiid, number one. I would expect that.
Yeah,
I mean, the pecking order is going to be the same. It's going to be Embiid, Harden, Maxey. But like, just the fact that if Maxey comes before Tobias Harris in the pecking order, it will make our team so much better. Because how good were we last year with Maxey fourth? Like, even just the slightest, decision to give him more touches and more shots is going to just make us a better team. Like, it's that simple. Like, I don't expect Maxey to shoot the ball more than Embiid or Harden ever. But if he is consistently putting up more shots than Tobias Harris, then the Sixers are a much scarier team. And I think the Sixers and Joel Embiid want him to win the MVP. Embiid, that is, more than anything this year. And I think we're going to do everything in our ability to get Joel Embiid the MVP. Everyone thinks he deserves, you know what I mean? So the regular season is going to be similar to last year. We're going to run through Embiid. We're going to do everything we can to get him the MVP. We're going to get him to the games minimum and everything, especially with Jokic is definitely not going to win it. Giannis is probably the only guy. Giannis and Luka are the only dudes he's going to worry about. And I just think the narrative, the way it's been, it's really shifting for Embiid, and he really wants that.
What if Jokic wins it 3 years in a row?
What's up?
What if Jokic wins it 3 years in a row? What if his VORP is just off the charts again?
I'll delete my channel.
I've basically already deleted mine. I will start to re-upload and then delete my channel.
But I don't want that type of offense. Like, they were running the 4-out, 1-in offense all practice, and yeah, you can do that over the course of the game, but I don't think that should be our go-to play. Like, I like how the offense ran yesterday in the preseason. It was literally Paul Reed and Montrezl Harrell. All their role was screen and roll. Yeah. That's what Joel Embiid's role should be. I know people are thinking, oh, that's going to take away his points. No, it won't. He's going to score easier. He's going to have less usage. He's going to be healthier because of that. Yeah, and that should be his role. I'm telling you, our offense would be so much better if we just ran. If Joel was just a prototypical center. Well, I know it sounds stupid, but that's my opinion.
That is a thing that they've worked in towards, once James Harden got here. That's one thing that they tried to work in as quick as they could. Those guys learning how to run the pick and roll together. So you're saying that you feel like that should be more of the game and less post ups.
Yeah, because you saw in the practice how stagnant it got when that happened. And James Harden was even saying, like, dude, we got to just run pick and rolls because they know what's coming. And yeah, you can get movement, and they weren't moving the right way, but still it's easy to stop when you're just looking at Embiid and you're trying to get him the ball. But when you just run constant pick and rolls with James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, I mean, things are going to open up. You're going to get 3-pointers. And then you got Joel Embiid, 200 plus pounds, or how big he is, crashing the offensive glass. You can get easy buckets from that. We saw that from Montrezl Harrell. We saw that from Paul Reed yesterday. That's what I think Joel needs to work on, because he's so used to being Superman. But the way this roster is built now, he does not have to be Superman until the playoffs. In the playoffs, he can go superhuman mode whenever. But for the regular season, I just want him to chill.
Yeah, me
too. Just run pick and rolls.
I'm more. I don't think I care about an MVP anymore, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think maybe Joel still cares about it because when you retire, you want to be able to say I was a 10-time All-Star and I had 3 MVPs and 2 scoring titles or whatever. But if the advanced analytics are going to keep robbing him of the MVP, then it doesn't matter that much, I don't think. And he hasn't been healthy. Every single time we get to the playoffs, something happens. He gets elbowed in the face. He gets shouldered in the face by Markelle Fultz. The season before last, he was like the healthiest he's ever been, and he gets a tiny meniscus, tiny tear in the meniscus that he tries to play through. Torn ligament in the thumb this past time, and the elbow from Pascal Siakam. So I think right now we just want Joel Embiid healthy at all costs. Like I swear to God, like entertainment wise, no, but if we could play him for 40 games, I'd be happy. I'd be happy. No back-to-backs. No, I don't know, man. Like 3 out of 5 games, play him 1. Play 3 games. 3 games in 5 days. Play him one of those games. Like in a perfect world, I would coast all the way to the playoffs and have 100% Joel Embiid. But he's not going to do that anyway. He's going to go out there and try to, he's going to play. At the end of the day, they're not going to get to rest him that much because he's going to play. But
I also don't think we need him to be like Rom said, we don't need him to be Superman. We don't really need him to be extremely dominant. Like, I would safely say this is probably the best and deepest roster we have had in the Joel Embiid era. I mean, like there's like really solid scoring like throughout. There's solid defense. There's solid shooting. Like it's pretty great, especially if Thybulle can at all take some type of leap forward. I know everyone's goo goo guying, whatever, over his form. I don't give a shit. It's going to probably change 3 games in anyway. But I mean, if Thybulle can at all become some type of a more consistent shooter, like 36%, 37%, right under league average would be huge. Like that would just make him more playable. And like the guys that we had to throw out for 20 minutes a game last playoffs, like we don't have to do that now. D'Anthony Melton's a guy who's going to get minutes. Like we're going to have dudes like PJ Tucker, who's going to see the court. Daniel House is going to see the court. Montrezl Harrell. Like these are all dudes who can put the ball in the basket and fight for everything. Like, I mean, I just think the Sixers team is like, it's way tougher right now. And it's filled with shooting and it's filled with like guys who can score and dribble the basketball. And we haven't had like playmaking and the ability to dribble the basketball in like so long because we've just relied on Ben Simmons to do it. And now without him, we had nobody. But like, I just think the Sixers are just going to be better off regardless of Embiid's role. I think the Sixers are going to be a better team than a lot of people probably expect them to because we just had a very quiet offseason, but we won the margins. And that was my entire motto going into the offseason. So I'm excited just because I think this team it's pretty filled. It's almost complete. I mean, we're always going to have things we can work on, but I mean, this is a pretty complete roster right now.
yeah, I think Greg, when the season ended and we did that one stream where it was like top 5 things the Sixers need to do, I think they did 4 of them. Like my number 2 was trade Matisse Thybulle before anybody finds out that he's not good, but they didn't pull that off. But I think like we were all sell the team. This is terrible, and they did all the things we thought that weren't even. I didn't even think most of them were possible. Like you need guys with heart and hustle on this team. You need this. You need that. I just. Daryl did a lot of things in one off season, so I expect them to be very good. I expect James Harden the way James Harden looks right now. I know we're just basing it off of like warm ups, shot workouts, and summer runs and things like that. But he looks closer to the frame that he was at in Houston than he did in Brooklyn. Also, like he looks like he's in the best shape since he was in Houston. So I expect this team to be really good.
And like I don't think Harden will ever be what he was in Houston again, but I don't think Doc Rivers expects him to or wants him to. Like, I just think that like if Harden can give us like 20 and 12 and just give us like shot creation at some point, not all game long, but when Embiid's out and like and Harden's feeling it, we just need him to like catch and shoot the ball off ball. We don't need him to go out and give us 45 a night. We just need him to just take a goddamn shot when he's open. That's what infuriated me the most in the playoffs. Like he just wasn't shooting the ball. Like just catch it and shoot it. So if he can do that, like that's all I really need from him. Like I don't need him to be this 2017 James Harden. I mean, if he's healthy, he should be fine.
Can we talk about how good their defense looked yesterday? I mean, D'Anthony Melton was picking Kyrie Irving up at half court. Thybulle was unbelievable on KD. Paul Reed was playing like Joel Embiid in the paint. This is the best, based off one preseason game, this is the best defense we've had in years. Let me tell you this. They played more physical than the Brooklyn Nets. They played tougher. They were pushing them around. When they got screens, they blew up the screen. They made the Nets look soft. And when did we ever say that about Sixers teams of the past? We were always the soft team. Now we got dogs like Paul Reed, D'Anthony Melton. It just seems like the mentality of this team has shifted. And I think it's because you got guys like PJ Tucker. I think Doc's taking the season way more serious.
Agreed.
Since he realizes this team actually has all the pieces.
He wasn't serious last year? You don't think he was
I don't think he was. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but it just seems like he's more focused. Like he's having them in North Carolina.
Like the team is more set in stone coming into this season as it was last year. Like last year, we had no idea what the hell was going on. So like I could definitely agree with that point. Like Doc was not really going into it thinking like, how am I going to win a championship right now?
Yeah, he was like, a lot of these things need fixed. So
right,
kind of screwed right now. Speaking of Paul Reed, when we talk about we added like dogs and veteran playoff type of players, and like what I've been saying is real high level NBA players. I don't want to see certain guys. I don't think we have to see certain guys. I don't think we should see shooting sleeve Furkan Korkmaz on the floor this season. I don't think he's going to be out there. Matisse, like you said, if he can shoot high 30s or 36% at least, and if he seems, just based off of that one preseason game, he seems reluctant to shoot it, or not reluctant, or how, if I'm using that word right, you know what I mean? He's catching and shooting and not like hesitating. But do you think we're gonna see guys like Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz, and Paul Reed? Because D'Anthony Melton to me versus Shake Milton, like I feel like he's if you could take Shake, like I think Shake is one of those guys where like we hyped him up because we needed a guy off the bench, but I think D'Anthony Melton is a guy that is what Shake Milton what we want him to be on this team.
D'Anthony Melton, his handles are trash. I'm sorry, but his handles are not good. The only thing this team is missing.
Shake's got handles?
No. The only thing this team is missing is like a backup point guard who can dribble and play make for others, because Shake's more of a scoring guard. Ferk's probably the best pure point guard in the second unit. I know you guys are going to laugh at that, but it's true. It is true. He can dribble in a pick and roll, make a pass.
In Europe.
No, yesterday he was the only guy in the second unit who can run an offense and then make a skip pass the other way. D'Anthony Melton, I love the guy, but he's inconsistent with his handle. It's been a problem all throughout his NBA career.
About Isaiah Joe.
Isaiah Joe can't dribble.
What about my guy, Isaiah Joe?
I didn't even say Joe. He's not playing.
Isaiah Joe's a good spot up shooter, but he's not a guy who can take it off the dribble and get someone else a bucket. D'Anthony Melton, he can do that sometimes. Shake, that's not his DNA.
Shake's not a bad pick and roll facilitator, though. I mean,
he's not. Shake in the pick and roll is nice.
That's what I'm saying. Like him and Drummond had really good chemistry last year before we got rid of him. I think Shake is fine. I mean, like it's not ideal, but heading into a season where your team is going to look different by the end of it, having Shake Milton and D'Anthony Melton as your primary two guards off of the bench, I think that's fine. I think it's doable for now.
I don't think Shake shoots the ball anymore like he used to. Like I don't know what happened. I feel like he doesn't shoot. His three looks like he pushes it from like the side of his shoulder or some shit. Like,
yeah, it's never really been pretty, unfortunately. But coming out of college, he was known to be like a sniper. So that's the thing that kind of is unfortunate.
That's his Twitter handle, Sniper Shake.
But yeah, that's not his role in the second unit, though. His role in the second unit, Melton wasn't Melton was kind of handling it, but Shake had like more of the on-ball responsibility. Shake's role, it seems like, is just running the pick and roll and getting in the paint and either scoring for himself or dishing it out. Well, and that's, I don't know. I think Melton, his offense.
I mean, he's a good shooter. Like Melton is an above average 3-point
No,
shooter.
he's been an inconsistent shooter throughout his whole career.
That's
One
the
month
life of a shooter, though. The dude is what? He shot like 40% from 3 last year.
I think every bench player is an inconsistent shooter. I mean,
exactly.
if we're talking about inconsistent, I mean, Furkan Korkmaz shot 17% over the course of 2 months.
Nah, dude, Furkan was very consistently bad last year. That man had the worst season of any dude on the team. He was so like the fact that Furkan Korkmaz came out during our preseason game and actually did well is going to make me lose my mind, because if I watch him, there's no way he gets minutes this year. Like he shouldn't, because he sucks. He's terrible.
He will. I'm telling you guys, he will get minutes, because the way coaches coach in the NBA, they like a Furkan guy because he knows how to make a good passes.
Rob, I agree. I agree.
I'm telling you.
I agree with you in the fact that he has point guard intangibles. His point guard mindset. I've seen him make skip passes and I've seen him read the floor the correct way. It's the fact that he can't get off in the NBA. Pause.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
His lack of athleticism and speed and everything in the NBA hinders him from doing those things. That's why he drops 40 in the summer league.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I could say the same thing about DeAnthony Melton. Furk and DeAnthony Melton probably have like the same amount of 15 points, 15 points games in their career.
I thought you were going to say the same athleticism.
This is what I'm arguing. Furk was the 6th or 7th man last year. Now Furk is the 11th, 12th guy.
Yeah, 12 guys should not be playing per night.
If he comes in and shits the bed, then he's not going to play. But for you guys to say, you guys are just haters. I hate to break it to you.
No,
because
he's not good at basketball. He has flashes of him looking like he's competent, but Romp, you can't sit here and say that he has ever shown 2 games in a row where it looks like he knows how to play the game of basketball. He can't dribble as much as you think he can. Just because he occasionally makes an okay pass, he can't dribble. He can't shoot. He can't play defense. He is without a doubt our worst defender at all times. We can go out there with me on the court, and Furkan Korkmaz is still the one getting hunted because he sucks. He's not good at basketball. He can't shoot. He calls himself a shooter. He shot like 6% last year, and he thinks he's fucking Kobe Bryant. I hate to break it to you, Romp. This guy should not be allowed in America playing basketball. He's not even good enough to play at like Marist University. Send this fucking guy back to Turkey. I don't give a shit. He is not good.
You're talking out of emotion, though. If Melton makes a mistake offensively, you will not even you won't call it out. Oh, it's just a bad play. Furk makes one bad play. He's trending on Sixers Twitter. He has a good game. No one talks about it. Yesterday, Furkan had 15 points and was very efficient and also had a ton of assists. And we're here shitting on Furkan.
That's not going to stand.
He dropped 40 in a summer league game.
You guys are unfair. You guys are
40 in a
biased. It's biased.
Because the thing is, dude, he's the epitome of inconsistency. He has one good game. Everyone blows him for a month. And then for the next 15 and a half games, he cannot make a shot, but he is continuing to shoot.
He shouldn't
like he
play in those games.
He shouldn't have played last year. Like if we really look back at the problems of the Sixers.
He was one of our better role players in the Heat series.
Yeah, dude, literally the entire season long, he was just
Yes,
terrible.
He was shit. But for the Heat series, if you go back, he was pretty good for the minutes he got. Once again, I'm not saying he should play. And if he plays like Furkan Korkmaz, then take him out.
Burn.
But my point is every Sixer player on this roster now is actually good.
Yeah.
That's every Sixer player on the roster. Like at no moment in the preseason game did I be like, oh, this player shouldn't be on the court. Oh, I'm scared. I actually feel like we have real depth.
Yeah, I feel like that too. What do you guys think the reason was for, not that there was like an actual reason, but, I see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving out there in the first preseason game, and Joel Embiid and James Harden. Not saying they had to play. Daniel House, PJ Tucker, But like, why do you think Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant were out there in a preseason game, and Joel Embiid and James Harden weren't? Because I think James and Joel and everybody, if it's a chemistry thing, Kyrie and Durant didn't play that much last season. They want to get the ball rolling and get it back in the groove and get chemistry going. I think James and Joel have the same like objective, like get the chemistry going. Especially after listening to that live practice, it seems like there's still a lot of things that James is learning to try to train his mind on things when playing with Joel Embiid, because James has been the go get a bucket guy his whole career, and now he has to try to be the number 2 and play around a dominant center. So I think we have just as much chemistry to work on almost as they do, and moving parts to try to fit in. Do you think we should have played everybody in the first preseason game, or does that straight up not matter?
Romp.
Wait, I kind of zoned out. I'm not.
All right, I got you. I'm listening, DJ. Don't even worry. He's still fuming over the
all my energy
shit.
Came out during that argument.
Rob is so mad
funny.
about Furcon that he didn't even listen to my next question.
Romp was just hoping and praying I was going to take that one, and I didn't. I'm not worried about it. Like I don't want Embiid to play in the preseason at all. I don't care. I just don't want him to get hurt.
That's true, actually. And when he does play in the preseason, he just jogs around shooting jumpers, and then people are on Twitter like, "Oh, look at him shooting jump shots, and he needs to be on the block." And I'm like, dude, it's October 3rd.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. Harden, on the other hand, like, I mean, I'll give it and take it. I really don't care. Preseason doesn't mean anything. Like, I really don't care. I don't care if we win, if we lose by 100, if we don't play anyone, if I don't see PJ Tucker, Daniel House, any of the guys until the regular season. Like, I don't care. And none of it matters. Like, I mean, they're professional athletes. If they're not ready by the offseason, it's not going to be the preseason that gets them into shape. Like, that's the big thing with Luka. Like, it's just, there's no excuse for a superstar that has to take the first 20 games of the year to, like, get in shape. Like, that shit should not happen.
Yeah, I don't want to see Joel play preseason or any back-to-back games. No back-to-back games. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind just put him
not
away.
Playing him forever.
Yeah,
just sit him until the playoffs.
Just don't even play him. Like, I'm good with Trez and Paul Reed till game 50 after the All-Star break, and then start ramping up. As Ben Simmons said, he was start ramping up Embiid after the All-Star break. We would still win games, trust me.
Yeah, that's
you will
true.
You will never be able to comprehend the work ethic of Ben Simmons, dude.
Oh yeah, no
way. You
way.
can't even understand what it's like to be in his shoes. He's disrespected. He's just underappreciated. Oh, what a great guy. And he works
it's
so
inspiring.
hard.
It's inspiring that he even took the court yesterday.
I mean, just for him to battle everything that he had to battle through for one of the worst cities. I mean, Philadelphia treated Ben Simmons terribly, and it was just Philly's the worst. And Ben really came out and had an unbelievable game. Yeah. He came out and he showed everything that he's been working on in the offseason. It's just he had a really good game.
Did you see that JJ Redick podcast, Greg? Because
yeah, it was disgusting.
I got emotional watching it.
It was a joke. JJ's a fraud now. JJ's on my list.
I'm just so disappointed in the city of Philadelphia for mistreating Ben Simmons.
Anyway, no, you're right that, it's a long season. Like, should there even be an NBA preseason? Like, it's an 82-game season. You can definitely take the first 10, 15, 20 games to, like, work things out. And like you said about Luka, get in shape, because he doesn't do anything except, like, hang out and smoke hookah all off season. You know what I mean? Let's get through some super chats real quick. Gambo said, thanks for the $5 super chat. Greg looks like an undercover narc that asks random people if they have the stuff so he can lock them up.
It's the mustache, bro.
Dude, mustache jokes every time you go live, man. It's crazy.
I know.
You would think people be used to the mustache by now.
That's why I'm not shaving it.
Mr. Rudy Poo, can we stop with the Draymond comparisons? He is perimeter Rudy Gobert. Good regular season.
That's a good point.
Guy, unplayable in the playoffs. That's true, and that's something Brooklyn Nets fans don't realize yet, man. Like, he'll get a couple.
Have to get there first.
He'll get a couple nice transition buckets. He'll drop a dime behind his head, Magic Johnson type of pass. But the rest of his game, it's so useless. I swear to God, he's just a 6'11" statue out there taking up space on the court. I don't want to talk about Ben the whole damn show. Brandon said Ben scored 6 points. And ESPN said Ben and the Nets look scary. Maxey outplays all 3 NBA players, and people say it's just the preseason. You're absolutely right, man. The Brooklyn Nets, for whatever reason, are the New York Yankees of ESPN, and the LA Lakers of ESPN. They just want so bad for this team to be good, so they can all, like circle jerk and celebrate them on First Take or whatever. Like, I don't know why though. Why do they want the Brooklyn Nets to be good so bad? Because they said for 2 years that they were the best team of all time, so now nobody wants to be wrong. Is that what it is? Like, I mean. The guy scored 6 points, and they're talking about, Ben was good in his debut. He didn't do anything.
I mean, Ben Simmons is going to put up decent looking numbers. Like that's never been the issue, and that's not going to be the case. But like, he's not going to mean anything. It's all inflated stats that they don't mean shit. Like we know all about the 16, 8, and 6 stat line. That looks really good. It looks really pretty on paper, but it's not good. Like that's going to be the Ben Simmons report in Brooklyn. Just give it like 35 games.
Yeah, it is. What do you guys expect? What do you guys expect out of like the rotations? Like somebody said that Paul. It was announced that Paul Reed is the backup 5. Who announced that?
I saw it on Harrison Grimm, his Twitter.
So let me get this straight, because I'm just finding out this information right now. So last season, when we had nobody that could get an offensive rebound, we had nobody that could defend the paint whatsoever. Besides Paul Reed, Doc Rivers played Paul Millsap on Giannis Antetokounmpo and DeAndre Jordan, literally until the media and the fans were, close to finding his house. And then he played Paul Reed, and then he was angry that Paul Reed had a good game, and he said, we're not going to go on a Paul Reed victory tour. So we go this whole offseason. Daryl Morey says to himself, if I don't get Doc Rivers a veteran backup center, we're screwed. And he gets Montrez, and now Doc Rivers announces Paul Reed as a starting backup center.
Here's the thing, though. Montrez and Paul Reed, they are going to play so hard where they're going to get in foul trouble. So there's going to be games where Paul Reed's a backup center, and then he has 3 fouls, and then Trez takes in the second half, and vice versa. So no matter what, we're probably going to see Trez and Paul Reed a lot this year.
But they're also they're platoonable guys. They're very, very different. Like they're very different. So I'm sure, given circumstance and situation, we'll see different guys. Continue.
Yeah, if you're playing like the Bucks, where they're not like a high pick and roll team, stick Trez out there because he struggles guarding the pick and roll, but he's lethal down low like we saw. But if we're playing a team like the Cavs, who are pick and roll heavy with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, then Paul Reed's got to be out there because he's more versatile, and he was amazing on defense yesterday. Amazing. So it's all up to Doc.
It's all up to Doc.
Which is bad.
But like, it's not as bad because the options are better than they've ever been. Like, it's not like we're rolling out Greg Monroe or DeAndre Jordan or whatever other garbage we've been putting out back there for the past 6 years. You know what I mean? Like what I like about this team is like, it just gives Doc less and less ability to fuck it up. Like, he's still going to find his ways, but like, it's not going to be as detrimental because we just are surrounding him with more talent, you know?
Yeah, that's what you have to do with Doc Rivers. You have to give him enough talent to win, because if it comes down to a coaching matchup, he's getting beat every single time.
Right.
He's never going to bring a team up. He's never going to find a way for a team that's looking like their back's against the wall or something like that. He has to have 4 Hall of Famers on the team to get that championship. And, you know, in L.A., he had his chances and blew the 3 ones and all that stuff. So, and Montrez was a part of that, was he not? Do you guys fear that maybe Doc Rivers loves Montrezl Harrell and he's going to have him out there in the playoffs getting smoked like he was in L.A.?
No.
And refuse to pull him out?
Nope. Because, like, I tweeted this when everyone was freaking out. We signed Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell was getting starter minutes because the other starter was Ivica Zubac. Now, if you think Doc Rivers is going to play Harrell minutes that would be given to Embiid, you're just wrong. You know, like it's not like it's Joel Embiid and it's the playoffs. Like it's going to be between Paul Reed and Montrez. Like it's not going to be between Montrez and Embiid. So it's like, first of all, way less important because it's not starter minutes. It's going to be the minutes of like, he's going to play like 12 minutes max in a playoff game. If that, like, he's not going to be playing 30. Like the issue was that Zubac was the better option, but Harrell started. Like Harrell will never start a game where Embiid is healthy this year.
I'm worried because knowing Doc Rivers, Harrell will be like averaging like 20 points, something crazy off the bench in the last 5 games. And then we'll play like a high pick and roll team and Doc will be like, oh, Montrezl Harrell's hot. Let's stick with him. And you know, he loves sticking with things that he's been doing all year long. So I'm worried because he doesn't like to change. He doesn't make adjustments. That's the biggest thing with Doc Rivers. And if we go up against a team where they're going to roast and toast Harrell in the pick and roll, then Paul Reed's got to be out there. It's really simple. It's not Montrezl Harrell's fault, by the way. Like if he's out there and he's getting cooked in the pick and roll, that's his weakness. That's on Doc. Get Paul Reed in the game.
Do you think Paul is getting better? I think Superhero said in the chat, Paul Reed seems to be getting better with fouling less, and you know he probably put a lot of time in this all season on, you know, just practicing where to have your feet and where to have your body when someone's driving to the rim or whatever, running pick and rolls, hedging, things like that. So yeah, if he doesn't foul every 30 seconds. I love the guy. I was calling for him last season. He's a crazy energy guy, motor, flies to the ball. Him and Montrezl Harrell are very similar. I guess it's really good to have two of those guys at your disposal coming off the bench. So,
the Sixers are a very versatile team right now. Like we're deep with versatility, which is huge. Like our issue all year last year that came to fruition in the playoffs was that we have so many goddamn one-dimensional specialist players. Everyone, like as much as we love George Niang, we love the dude. He goes out there and he plays very hard. He does one thing. He can't play defense. He got burnt. And when his shot's not falling, he gets cooked and it's just not worth it. Matisse Thybulle, we have our ups and downs with him. He's an at times very good defender. Other times he's very bad, but he's offensively like Helen Keller. So it's like we can't have him out there in the playoffs. And then we just have one-dimensional dudes, But now this year we have guys who can play on both sides of the court. And I don't love I love Anthony Melton. I think he's going to be a guy that a lot of us are going to fall in love with because he tries very hard, but he's better than what we had last year. Like we have a bunch of dudes who just play on both sides of the court. And like where we are platooning is with Montrezl Harrell, and Paul Reed has the ability this year to show more versatility and take over that lead, like that lead role or whatever. And I'm excited because the Sixers actually have dudes. And to mention Superhero's comment here, D'Anthony Melton is not going to be a chucker, but when you have like 48 dudes not playing in your preseason game, I mean, I'd rather have Melton go 3 for 15 than 1 for 4.
Melton's
like
been
the
a
thing
chucker,
with Matisse. Matisse barely even shot the ball. I'm like, bro, just shoot the goddamn basketball. These stats don't matter. Just come down half court and hoist that shit.
Changing a jump shot or improving a jump shot is something that rarely actually happens successfully because you've done it one way your whole life as a child. It's like trying to walk a different way. You know what I mean? You walk the way you walked for 20 years. You can't just change it. Some players somehow, Lonzo Ball, I swear to God, I would have bet everything that you can't change that thing. And somehow he got it more square than it was. Matisse Thybulle, to me, it's not just changing his jump shot, but it's like, Now you're more uncomfortable because now you're trying to shoot a different way than you're used to shooting. So he wasn't comfortable shooting in the first place. I don't think trying to get his jump shot to be more square gives him any more confidence in shooting it. So, like you said, he just shoot the ball, but I just don't think he's very confident, and I don't think he's ever going to be very confident shooting the ball.
Yeah, but Ben Simmons is going to change his jump shot this year.
there was
How do you miss worse 6 years later? That was one of the worst misses of his career, anyway.
Bro, like the thing is, like I know we keep coming back to Ben Simmons,
back.
but like I would have hit the rim at least, dude. At least.
Nah. Let's not go that
No,
far.
Niang was smacking that thing, man. He's 6'8". He can't
Niang-
jump. He can't jump, but he's still 6'8". He's smacking your shot.
Yo, he's 6'8" in the air too. That's he hasn't jumped in 6 years.
Anyway, Rump, sorry.
I was proud of Matisse for taking more than 4 dribbles at one point.
Huge.
It was pretty impressive. But he was doing one of my pet peeves in basketball where he would not shoot the ball. Like there were so many instances where he had a quick shot and the Sixers needed him to shoot it because if he didn't shoot it, the offense would get stagnant and he would pump fake. He got a foul call the one time, but he needs to just let it fly. I really don't care about missed shots. As long as I can tell you're confident with shooting, then I'm fine with it. But if you're like not confident, that's when I get pissed off because the defense can feel when a player's not confident and then they're not going to guard him and it just affects the whole team. And your teammates can feel when another teammate is not confident. So then you're like, oh, you're second guessing if Embiid should pass it out to Thybulle or if Embiid should pass it out to whoever's not confident. So that has got to change. That's why I actually liked how Melton played because he just kept shooting and shooting. He was bricking out of his mind, but it seemed like it didn't really affect him. Plus, on the other end of the floor, he was D'ing up Kyrie Irving, picking him up at half court. Also, can we talk about how we're switching everything now? Doc Rivers seems to be motivated because we're switching everying on defense.
We have the guys too.
I was just going to say that.
Finally have the guys too.
And the closeouts were insane. I thought I was watching the Miami Heat versus the Sixers, but we were the Heat. Like our closeouts were crazy. This is going to be the best defensive team in the league. If Harden and Embiid buy in, there's no question in my mind. There's the way they played yesterday. I know it's the preseason. It's only one preseason game, and as Greg Melly said, the preseason does not matter. But the way I saw them locking in, picking up at half court, oh man.
I love the Anthony Mel, man. He's a dog. The dude's a dog. To average 7.5 rebounds per 36 at 6'2", he's just an absolute, like he's going out there and grinding for it every single possession. So I love that kid's mentality, man. And it comes out in his shooting. Like he's a gunslinger because that's how he plays. He averaged 8 3-point attempts per 36 too last season. He lets it fly.
Let it fly, dude. We need guys like that. We need quick trigger dudes. We didn't have any of that last year. I don't care if it goes in. Get the ball up.
Besides Danny Green. Danny Green was a quick trigger, but he couldn't move. That's the thing. He could not move. He was a good defender too, but he couldn't move to close out anyone.
He was also a brick if it wasn't from the corner.
Also, everyone's like, it's just preseason. We were playing KD and Kyrie. We made Kevin Durant feel uncomfortable. You could tell. Every shot he took, he had to work his booty off to get that shot. Buddha, rotten there. Where? I mean, that game made me excited. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, and like even when we had, the Al Horford team when we were supposed to be bully ball because we were taller than everyone, like that wasn't really a good defensive team just because we had a bunch of tall guys. Like I think we actually have an assortment of athletes at every position, so that so we can legitimately be a really good defensive team for the first time in a long time, I think.
Versatility, especially if Tobias Harris comes out and plays defense and accepts his new role.
Yeah, let's talk about Tobias Harris. Last night, like right off the bat, I saw him catch and shoot, like no hesitation whatsoever. Do you think that he's embracing? I know we've had discussions before, and some of us think that maybe Tobias Harris has a little bit of an ego because of his contract, and maybe he thinks he's a little bit more important than he is or better than he is. Do you think he's embracing now? Look, I make more money than everyone, but it's not real. It doesn't exist. I'm actually the number 4, and now I have to just catch and shoot. The game is about Joel Embiid and James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, and my job is to catch the ball and shoot threes and get rebounds. I'm 6'8". If I finish games with 2 rebounds, I clearly wasn't giving any effort. So do you think Tobias Harris is going to embrace his role as a 3-and-D catch and shoot guy?
Yes. I think the big takeaway I have over the past couple of weeks of the Sixers offseason is that it's all about the team. Like, I really think they're coming out with like this new team first identity and like do everything for the team, and like all these like reports of saying like Embiid's like practicing extra with the guys that he doesn't have to practice with, and like Maxey has just been in the gym like crazy, and Isaiah Joe has been like practicing up, blah blah blah. Like I think especially with the Harden, like all this weight I've lost, look how much I want it. Like I think it's all of this like no I in team type of mentality the Sixers seem to be putting together right now, and that's why I'm really excited, because I think for the first time it's like they understand the one united goal, and I think that everyone hopefully is going to be buying into that. It seems so far that everyone's going to buy into it, and I think Tobias Harris is one of the guys I think is going to buy into his new role. I don't know if he's going to love it, and I think it's going to be a little difficult at first to really finally do what should have been doing the last like 9 years of his career, but I think so.
Well, last year's, Tobias, he was guarding Siakam, which was their best offensive player. He was guarding Jimmy Butler, too. So defensively, he's probably going to be better because he's not going to have to guard the best player, even though we're switching most of the players besides the center. So he's going to have to guard everyone. But yeah, I think his defense will be fine because he was good last year in the playoffs and he was guarding their best player. And offensively, yesterday he was trying to force a few things, but I think that was just because it's a preseason and James Harden and Joel Embiid weren't there. And it seems like he's trying to shoot more threes. So hopefully he continues that.
The Sixers are going to be so much better with PJ Tucker on the court. Just in general, like I can't wait. Like we're happy with how they looked yesterday, just initially, but like this Sixers identity is really going to come full force when PJ Tucker's on the court, and I just can't wait for it because that's just another 40% 3-point shooter who wants to win more than any other guy on the other team. So like I think those are the guys, like what you said earlier, DJ. Like those are the guys that seem like they are the reason the Sixers are they seem like they really care this year.
Craig Malley, I got a trivia question for you.
Oh, dude.
Trivia.
Let me put on my shades.
Oh.
How many offensive rebounds did the Sixers have yesterday?
I think Trez had 3.
7.
22.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Montrezl Harrell had 4 offensive rebounds. Paul Reed had 3. Our starting lineup had 10 offensive rebounds. That's insane.
Yeah, because you would think with Claxton and another 6'11" guy out there that's uber athletic.
Ben can't fucking rebound. Sorry, I brought him up again.
I know. Yeah, I know. I brought him up. Yeah, you would, with that frame, you would think, oh, this guy's going to be a dominant rebounder. He's never been one because he's so soft mentally. He's just, but yeah, 22 offensive rebounds for the Sixers yesterday. That's crazy.
Hell yeah, Philly.
That's crazy. So speaking of PJ Tucker, is it still like a weird dynamic, like the starting lineup? When we signed him, we were like, well, who the hell, is he he's not a small forward. Is he a power forward at a stretch 4 in today's game? I guess he is. I mean, he rebounds well for his size, and he shoots 45% in the corner, 46% in the corner. And then it's like, is Tobias Harris a 3? Because we were saying for the longest time, Tobias Harris is just a straight up stretch 4, and he's not an NBA small forward this season. So, do we have two power forwards on the floor in that lineup? And is that like something we should be concerned about?
No, like it's not like Tucker's like Niang where he can't guard anyone. Like I think that PJ Tucker's versatile enough defensively where he can be able to like guard both positions, and same goes for Tobias. Like, I mean, it might be a little clunky offensively, but I don't really know. Like, I don't think it's as bad as the Horford Embiid type of fit on face value. Like, maybe I'll end up being wrong, but this is such an easier issue to fix if it even is that bad. But I'm pretty confident in Tobias Harris's defensive ability, where like I think those two can at least coexist together, like mediocrely, if that's a word. I don't know. Rob, let me know your beautiful insight on this question.
I don't think it's that big of a issue because Tobias should just spot up and PJ Tucker should just spot up, and then everyone else, Joel, Tyrese, and James, do what you do. But if Tobias starts trying to, go ISO mode like he likes to do sometimes, then there might be an issue.
He does like to do that.
He loves it.
Yeah,
he clears everyone out, and he's like, I'm going to get mine. He that's the thing about Tobias. Every shot he takes is a hard shot. So even when he makes it, it's like, because when he misses, you're like, holy crap, that was a terrible shot.
Dong.
He gets no separation from anyone.
Oh, you meant like a difficult shot. I thought you meant he shoots the ball hard because he does that
too. No touch whatsoever.
He's like mellow, but with a line drive. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. They both just gotta spot up, and we'll see. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot. I think it could be a slow start. I could predict a slow start here, just because there's a lot of new things, and there's a lot of things players need to figure out and learn where to be on the court with certain guys and things like that. In the NBA game, you can practice all you want, but when the game starts, it's a different thing. I might predict a slow start for this team just because of all the new faces and all the different things I think people are going to have to work out. And then, Twitter's going to burn itself to the ground, if the Sixers start out like 1-4 or something like that. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm excited too, because this is a deep team. This is a very deep team. You guys got anything else?
Eastern Conference Finals.
I think healthy. You have to at least be facing Boston or Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals healthy.
Philly, Milwaukee, Eastern Conference Finals.
Philly, Milwaukee, no Boston.
Nah. I think the Gallo hurt them a lot. I don't think Brogdon's going to play more than 40 games because he's like the dude from SpongeBob who is the con man who's like wrapped up in bubble wrap because he's made of glass. Except he actually is, and he's not lying about it. I don't think Tatum and Brown can coexist. I kind of just hate Boston so much that I'm trying to find ways to like.
They didn't look like they could coexist the beginning of last season. They looked awful the first half of the season. In the game that we blew them out by like 30 plus.
Yeah.
They had no.
Their defense is so good though.
Yeah, that beginning of the season they had no identity. It was just here's the ball Tatum, here's the ball Jaylen Brown, and it didn't look like they had any cohesiveness or a plan whatsoever. And then the second half of the season, they pulled it together, and it was like, oh my God, the Boston's deep and strong at every position and great defensively, and they have three. They can somehow find a way to play a center and two power forwards at the same time and push Joel Embiid out of the paint. So, I hate Boston too, but I gotta.
My thing is like the Sixers have had a drama-free offseason for the first time since like 1984, which is huge. But the Celtics just had the most drama-filled offseason ever. Like they just lost their head coach because he was too busy banging everyone on the coaching staff.
Consensual.
I love him at Udoka, but brother, come on, what are you doing? You're a great coach, but I'm sure you're a scumbag. But like, that's gonna kill him, man. Like they're gonna have some no-name coach dude now.
Nah, they'll be fine.
Nah, I think that's gonna hurt.
Suspended for a year.
Yeah, it's a lot. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson gets like a $250 fine.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the NBA handles things differently, or one scenario was admitted to be true, and one scenario technically was never proven. So I guess.
Yeah, I also think there's going to be more to come out over this Udoka thing. But
can we roast Ben Simmons a little more? I was just thinking of something in my head. Like, imagine you're coming back, it's your first game, and you get absolutely destroyed by the dude who was your rookie, who was playing behind you. Like, that dynamic is so funny to me. Like, Tyrese Maxey came out and just destroyed him.
Here's the thing about him, though. He's so involved in himself. He's so unaware of the rest of the world.
I love this.
He went on Instagram and posted a picture of that wide open dunk with one of my friends that was watching the game with me. Literally said it. He's gonna post that with the little emoji with the smoke coming out of the nose, and we all laughed. And he actually did that. He posted it on Instagram with the smoke coming out of the nose, and it was just like, wait a minute. I thought he had an embarrassing effort out there.
Wait, did he actually have a smoke emoji before the game?
No, he just posted a picture of him dunking and said, "Good to be back."
Oh,
Yeah.
Yo, you guys are sleeping on him. I think he's gonna win comeback player of the year. So he's gonna win most improved. I think he's gonna win MVP.
Improved.
And I think he might make the 3-point contest this year too. He's legit, dude. That form looked really, really good. And in his offseason videos this year, like, we just don't give Simmons the credit he deserves because he works really hard at basketball.
The NBA is pushing him hard. The media loves Ben Simmons now, so I would not be surprised if he's like defensive player of the year.
Well, here's the thing.
If he wins defensive player of the year, I swear to God, I'm going to burn down the city of Brooklyn. And I live in Brooklyn.
He's going to win defensive player of the year.
Here's the thing. The reason ESPN is pushing Ben Simmons so hard, and I'm going to say this on YouTube, and I know I would get fired from ESPN if I said this on TV. It's because of when he claimed that mental health stuff, that's forever going to be in his favor because the PC, politically correct, bullshit TV shows are always going to kiss his ass because they always want to be able to say, we support mental health awareness. He took advantage of something that he knew nobody could slander in the PC world. But I can slander it on this YouTube show because I say what I want on here. But all I'm saying is, and I'm starting to actually, this is going to shock some people, I'm starting to actually kind of a little bit sometimes actually feel bad. Because...
Whoa, it's a big step for you.
No, because he came out in that preseason game, and he looked so bad, and I'm starting to slowly, it's like 6 years, how could you possibly still be playing like that? I'm starting to think, like, maybe we assume that because you're 6'11" and a giant athletic person that you're this mentally strong warrior. He's just so weak mentally, and it shows more and more and more all the time, and I'm starting to kind of get to the point where, I had a few adult beverages last night. It was my birthday, so I was definitely going in on that live stream in the videos, but I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, this guy is very, very mentally weak, and just, it's sad. It really is. It's becoming sad to me.
So I did some
research. I don't
research.
feel bad for him, but the topic is becoming sad because he just
I kind of feel bad too.
Yeah, I did some research on the topic and research on like the whole mental health thing, and I finally found like a pretty solid way to describe Ben Simmons, like a word to describe it, and it's he's a pussy.
No, you can't say that. Canceled.
I don't know how we can feel bad for this.
Is that short? Is that short for a scientific term? Is that like
yeah. I don't know how far I want to go on this. Yeah, the dude's a bitch. Okay, he's a little bitch. If it was mental health, he would have come out originally and said it was mental health. Fuck this dude. But I love you, Ben Simmons, and I hope you feel better about your decisions, and I hope you succeed, and I hope you win Rookie of the Year this year because I think you have a strong chance for it.
It's just weird that he wants to. You can tell he just wants to be a role player. Like, he's like, I just want to come up, pass the ball, stand in the corner, and get my paycheck. Like, he just has no
he
desire.
wants to be a celebrity. He wants to be a celebrity.
Yeah, he has no desire to be a great basketball player, and it's weird.
He is a slap in the face to all professional athletes and to all athletes who want to be professionals like Romp.
The funny thing is that Brooklyn Nets fans are. It was fun so far watching Brooklyn Nets fans on YouTube and Twitter try to convince themselves that he's going to be different. And then he came out and looked the same, and we were like, "Told you so." And now they're gonna realize what we realized, that he's totally useless in the half court. You're playing 4-on-5, and you definitely can't play Nick Claxton next to him. You gotta. It's to the point now where I was watching a Nets broadcast just because I wanted to see what they were saying about him because it's interesting to me because they've been lying to themselves the whole offseason, but. They're calling him the non-shooter. So now there's this dynamic in basketball where you can only have one non-shooter on the floor at a time, and it's true in today's NBA. You don't want to have any non-shooters on the floor. But if you're going to have one, you can't have two. And he's a non-shooter. He's a straight-up non-shooter, so he has to play center. I don't know what else they can do with the guy. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be fun for me to watch them trying to figure this out.
Not only is he soft, he also plays soft. Like, Draymond's a non-shooter most games, but he still plays super, super hard and super physical where he gets away with it and he's still valuable. Everyone's like, yo, Ben Simmons is Draymond Green. No, he's Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
Those brick free
He's
throws.
John Lure. Remember John Lure?
I have no idea who that is.
Exact. Dude, Google him right now and then put him on the screen.
Those brick free. Do you think they're? You know what would be fun if the NBA straight went hack-a-ben like game 1 of the regular season? Just,
oh my god, then
just
I would
2
start
minutes,
feeling bad.
Just 2 minutes into the game, just.
We should have hacked Ben Simmons yesterday. A little payback.
Anyway, you know, a lot of people, not a lot of people, most people love the Ben Simmons slander because what's not to love about it? It's a lot of fun. But you get 1 or 2 comments here and there that are just like, you guys are so obsessed with Ben Simmons, you'll never stop talking about him. And I'm like, you know what? This guy put me through agony for 5 years. I'm giving him all the slander for the rest of my existence. I don't care.
You know how you were like, you don't see, like last year, you're like, you don't see Jalen Hurts improving as a passer. Do you think watching Ben Simmons not improve and not improve, like, you think that affected that opinion on Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I would never, like, Jalen Hurts his mindset is exactly what you want in an athlete. I just thought he didn't have the physical tools to do it. Like, it looked like the ball came out weak out of his arm. I thought he had small hands maybe. Like, I thought he literally struggled to throw an NFL football. So people were telling me his timing, his mechanics, and they were 100% right because he changed his mechanics and he looks like a totally different quarterback. And, I'm like, hey, I didn't think he could do that in one offseason. But yeah, it's because the dude's a warrior and he works every day and he's, they're 4-0 and he's still like, job's not done. Like, he's locked in all the time and he's the complete opposite mentality wise of Ben Simmons. But yeah, I mean, I guess don't underestimate anybody. Anybody with the right mindset can accomplish anything. That's what they tell you. But yeah, Jalen Hurts impressed the hell out of me with what he changed. That's the funny part about it because people still come at me. Oh, where's that energy from last year? And I'm like, we're saying he changed his mechanics to
No,
fix.
you can't change your opinion.
No. But I'm saying,
no, you're not allowed to.
But I'm saying if I get those people to agree with me, he changed his mechanics to fix the things he was struggling with. So you're agreeing that he was struggling with these things that I was saying he wasn't good at. So I don't think I was wrong. He changed what I was saying he was bad at.
That's actually
that's
the
a
crazy.
good thing.
That's the craziest thing online. How like people latch on to opinions. Like you can't change or say something different. That's
like if a movie sucks, right? And you're like, this movie's trash, and a sequel comes out, and the sequel's actually good. You're not allowed to say, oh, the second one was
Where's
good.
that same energy?
You hated the first one. You hated the first one. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but anyway. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for coming up here and hanging out. Good to have the crew back together to give the people the Sixers round table after a preseason game that literally didn't matter. Yeah, it was fun. So thank you, guys. You got anything else?
The Eagles are about to win the Super Bowl.
Sixers are about to win the Super Bowl.
The Phillies are gonna win the NBA championship.
Yo, we killed that. Holy shit. It doesn't get better than this. Like, we are the cream of the fucking crop.
We really are the cream of the crop, man.
That Furcon argument was hilarious.
All right. I'll see you guys. If I hear his name one more time, I'm logging out. I'm logging out.
All right,
Peace.
yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll do this. We'll do this all season. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll do this all season long. The trio right here.
We're still alive?
We don't have a
Shit.
name. By the way, everyone in the chat, we need a name for this trio of content creators. We don't have a name, and we need one.
Yo, you guys want to talk about the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary?
No, not at all. Not at all. Did you see my meme on Instagram? We're going to watch Tyrese Maxey highlights, and then you can go.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
All right, I'm out. Love you guys. See you on the next one.